Hi everyone, Jared here with Day Traders FX. We have had a very interesting day in the market. Everything's looking pretty good, and we've got lots of good stuff to talk about. I posted this article just yesterday, the day before, about not everyone is convinced the EU will crumble, and I think it's just kind of a funny article because not looking for the EU to crumble, but we're looking for the euro to crumble down to some nice lows, and we're going to talk about that. But have a stop by Day Traders FX, have a look at that. Also, make sure you register for the members site. You can get free registration and get some limited access, and paid registration for a little bit more access. Okay, quick look at everything here. We can see that the markets have been all over the place. They started a little bit flat this morning and got a little bit positive, like 30, 40 points in the positive, and then the Dow's just been having a heck of a time. It ended up closing about 60 down, S&P about 8 down. Oil is all the way down here below 94 finally, which it has not been able to do, and gold is getting crushed as well. So all nice continuations. This is the pre-summer movement. The trend will win. It's just how long is the trend going to go, and we're going to talk about some of those extreme levels shortly. Lots of news out today. Negative retail sales numbers for the U.S. not looking too good. Coming into tomorrow, we have quite a bit of news. We've got the claimant count. We've got some news coming out of the UK central bank, so that should be important. Keep an eye on that. We have the inflation report. We have FOMC meeting minutes coming up tomorrow, so count on some wild, crazy activity then. If there's ever a time for the markets to kind of turn around and for the dollar to get crushed, this would be that time. Everyone's starting to get nervous and sweat a little bit that the dollar is getting as strong as it's getting. And speaking of which, here is the dollar index. 8100 right there. That was our major resistance we talked about. You can see that it's at 8143. Next level, 8200 right there. So that 82 level, if we can get above that, then we have got a full-fledged breakout and a nice continuation on the dollar index. Okay, here's the euro dollar. These are levels from this morning and from the UK session. So remember, we talked about this break in the UK notes of 128.15, and guess what we got? Pretty nice break, actually, about 80 pips worth of break. So the euro is just trending down. At this point, I don't know what really we can do with the euro other than wait for some retracement and jump in on that, because it's really kind of overrun for the moment. And so I think we need to wait for a little bit of retracement and see this thing continue down, but it's worked out very nicely. Here was our Friday low that we talked about, and it got up to this up to a major resistance last night in the UK session, and then just plowed down through. And now we're kind of at this point of the euro is finally through the worst of it, and it looks like it's getting ready to have a big, huge double bottom. And this could be the bottom of the euro. This could be the bottom of the summer channel and everything. And as you can see, this is about 126, between about 12600 and 12630. Could very, very easily be the bottom of the euro. So we got to keep an eye on that. But I still think we've got a nice chance to trade it down into there. We've got 100 pips to go before it gets there. So basically, I'm just going to look for some pullback. I'm going to look and see if we can get a chance at getting back in near this resistance or something up here. I'm going to have to just update this in the notes tonight, because if this doesn't retrace, then we'll just trade the break at the low. But ideally, I'd like to see some retracement up into about 12800, which at this point is seeming like a pretty long ways to go. So between 12770 and 12800 should be some entry areas to short the euro. So we're going to be looking at that. There might be some short-term buy opportunities in there as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Pound dollar, this was our level we were looking at this morning. It broke. Here's a pretty important trend line right here. The pound dollar is the one that looks the most ready to really make a big run. This one's just been gradually coming down for 2 weeks, coming into the range of the 100 and 200 day moving average, getting out of that range pretty quickly and breaking this trend line right here. So this is all good news. The pound has been very strong, and this is all pretty good news. Looks like we might be able to start seeing some nice turnarounds and some runs into this support down here, which is about 158.100 and 158.50. These are all pretty important levels that have been in play for quite a while. So what we want to do on the pound dollar is the same kind of thing. I'd love to see just a little bit of retracement into kind of this breakout zone right here, which shouldn't be out of the question. It's only going to be about a little chunk of pips, 160, 20, 130-ish area. Let's just short it below some of these main levels. Is 130 or 160.30, 160.20, right in this general area as it retests the bottom of this trend line. And let's try to short this thing down into some of these lows here. So we're looking at that as a possible sell entry on this one. And likewise, if we do get stopped out of something like that, then we're going to keep an eye on this level right here, which is 160.50. So above 160.50, we've got probably a pretty easy run of 30 to 35 pips back up into this area here. So look at 160.50 as a breakout up. Otherwise, we're going to look at about 160.30 as an area to short the pound and take it lower. Euro yen is not out of the question either. We've got some good opportunities on the euro yen. If we look at the larger time frames, lots of support right here, lots of support, but I think it's going to be able to make it, especially with the euro just getting hammered like it is. And that support's holding the euro yen right now pretty well, actually. But I'm going to be looking for this pair to start giving us a little bit of pullback potentially, and possibly just shorting right at this low right here. So we're going to just keep our eye on this. If this makes it right back up again, let it come back down through this low before shorting. Otherwise, we've got the opportunity to short up here as well, which is 102.75. But I'm not really looking for it to pull that far back up. I just kind of like this low area, and actually current market price doesn't look too bad. I would like to wait for the Asian session to start, and if the Asian session starts and we get a little bit of a jerk up on the euro yen, then I'll short just above this 102.20.25 and take it down into that 101.50 area, which I think it's going to have a nice time reaching. And pound yen, this is some pretty craziness right here. It's pretty choppy, and you can see that we've got a couple of levels really, but I'm keeping an eye on this one initially, which is 128.25. If we get a break of this, we should have a nice little 20 pip run down to about this 128.00, 128.05 area, and then I'll just be looking to trade it right on through there as well. But I want to get back below 128.25 before I sell the pair. And I think that's going to be a nice entry point. So watch pound yen sell below 128.25, or at the break of 128.25, which it's broken a couple of times, but I think that's going to be a nice continuation. Aussie dollar, we're already in this trade. We got in at the break right here. Not too much to say about this, except for we're just looking to see if we can get a nice little continuation out of this. The Aussie dollar is going to start coming into some pretty decent support down here around just below 9,900, so about 98.80, 90 area. So not too much further to go, about another 35 pips or so, and then I think we're going to start coming into some big support. If we can break that, we've got a daily gap we got to fill right there, and I think that the Aussie is going to be able to make it into these lows about 96.80 to 96.50. So that's what I'm shooting for. But we're already in this trade, so not too much to say about that. And last but not least, the dollar CAD. I really like the dollar CAD. This is a pretty important level right here. This has been a 3-4 month high and a pretty strong low for a couple of months there as well. Very strong level, 100.50. So if we can get and hold above this, which the pair is pretty easily doing at this point, looking for a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of pullback. It's just barely above that 50. It's at about 100.63. So I'd like to see 5 to 10 pips of pullback, and I will buy this pair on the dip with stops, just down here below about 100.40, even kind of that 30 to 35 area, and just target some of the next upper levels, which we have nothing but clear skies up ahead. So the dollar CAD's been pretty choppy, but I think it's ready to run. So dollar CAD is a big focus, euro yen is a big focus, pound yen is a big focus, and then we're looking for some pullback on the pound dollar, just a little bit, 15-20 pips, and some bigger pullback on the euro dollar. But euro yen, like I mentioned, is just about ready to go. I think just below this price with stops above that 102.20 area. As we get into the Asian session, it should be pretty good there. So keep an eye on that. Best of luck, and we'll update levels as we get into the chat. Thanks, everyone. Take care.